Shaq and Kobe, the dynamic duo who would go on to win 3 straight NBA championships under head coach Phil Jackson from the years 2000 through 2003. They would reach the NBA Finals 4 times in a span of 5 years. However, due to tension amongst each other, the two players would constantly clash. Shaq was the established superstar on the Lakers when Kobe would come into the league, but Kobe would strive to prove that he was the foundation of the franchise. The two players would consistently air each other out over the media. While Kobe would criticize Shaq's conditioning and effort, Shaq claimed Kobe was overly selfish. Their disputes would eventually lead to Shaq being traded in 2004 after the Lakers would lose the NBA championship to the Detroit Pistons. But how great could this historic duo actually come out to be if only they got along? What if Shaq decided to stop being lazy? What if Kobe decided to actually pass the ball? Well, today we will indeed find out. And that brings us into NBA 2K26, where we will begin this rebuild heading into the Kobe era. The year is currently 2002, and the Lakers have just won back-to-back championships, but this year they will have to assert their league dominance yet again to prove they are worthy of the three-peat in this universe. We have a 24-year-old Kobe Bryant and a 30-year-old Shaq. Both will be at a 97 overall as we begin this rebuild. As we reach the All-Star break, Kobe is currently putting up 35, 7, 4.4, and nearly 2 steals a night, while Shaq is currently putting up a solid 29.4, 15 rebounds with a steal and 3 blocks per game. And during the All-Star game, Shaq actually goes off, putting up 28 points, 10 assists, and 3 blocks, while Kobe puts up 7, 8, and 7. And the Lakers will conclude their season with a 57-25 record as Phil Jackson wins Coach of the Year, and Kobe and Shaq will both make All-NBA First Team. Ending the season, Kobe puts up 35, 7, 5, and 2, while Shaq puts up 29, 15 with a steal and 2.7 blocks. And the Lakers will be the first seed as we head into this year's playoffs, but somehow they end up losing to the 8th seeded Clippers. I have no idea how this happened, especially looking at this Clippers team. The Clippers will go on to win the NBA championship as Elton Brand is your finals MVP. Now we are already rewriting NBA history after that series loss, but not in a good way. Let's see if the Lakers can bounce back as they acquire Karl Malone and Gary Payton during the offseason. Kobe is officially a 99, while Shaq has entered the early stages of regression as he is now a 95 overall. But of course, he is still in the position to make a solid impact on the court. Halfway through the season, the Lakers are 36-12. Kobe is putting up 32, 8, and 5 with 2 steals and 1 block per night. Shaq is putting up 25.6, 15, and 2 assists with a steal and 2.6 blocks. Shaq surprisingly makes the dunk contest but loses to LeBron. Kobe puts up 23 in the All-Star game, while Shaq nearly meets the triple-double. The Lakers would barely lose any more games as they close out the season with 14 losses. Hopefully they can keep this up as Phil Jackson receives another Coach of the Year. And check out Kobe winning MVP while he averaged 35 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, 2.2 steals, and nearly a block per night while shooting 60% from the floor. Kobe and Shaq would go on to make All-NBA First Team this year as Shaq would average 26, 15, 2 assists with nearly a steal, 2 blocks, while also shooting over 60% from the floor. Of course, they'll be the first seed as we head into the playoffs this year, and they should have no problem at all knocking out this Warriors team. But somehow, some way, the Lakers end up being eliminated again as they are upset by the 8th seed 2 years in a row. As we simulate the rest of the playoffs, the Spurs win the NBA championship as Tim Duncan is named Finals MVP. Karl Malone will retire from the NBA, And Josh Smith will end up slipping to the 30th pick in the first round, where the Lakers will gladly pick him up. As we head into the 04-05 season, the Lakers are unable to add Lamar Odom to the roster like they would in real life because Shaq, of course, is still on the team. But they still do have a lot of potential, so let's see what they can make of this year. And before we get any further into the simulation, we will go ahead and extend Shaq's contract since he does plan to stay. And we'll give him a 4-year deal worth $13.22 million. And of course, both Kobe and Shaq end up making the All-Star game. I'll let y'all go ahead and check out their stats. But what I really want to take a look at is the stats of the new players and see how they're performing. Kobe is averaging 28, 7, 4, and 2 steals. Shaq is putting up 25, 12, a steal, and 2.4 blocks. And we can kind of notice that regression is starting to take effect. Caron Butler is making a nice impact with 14 a night. Gary Payton is starting to fall off a little bit. Derek Fisher is looking pretty consistent compared to his previous year. And Josh Smith is putting up solid rookie numbers while he's shooting over 50% and over 65% from three-point range. It's now the end of the season and the Lakers will end up going 67-15. KG wins MVP, and it doesn't look like Shaq or Kobe will pull off any awards this year, but it seems like Phil Jackson has been replaced with Alan Bibby, who wins Coach of the Year. And for the first time ever, we are winning Executive of the Year with Grant Chambers. I believe this is the best record the Lakers have had, so we're hoping for the best heading into the playoffs, but of course we'll see. Shaq makes All-NBA first team, Kobe makes All-NBA second team. LeBron James is on the Memphis Grizzlies. I was not expecting to see that right there. Carmelo is on the Cavs. And Dwight Howard is on the Supersonics in Seattle. But let's get into the playoffs. The Lakers are yet again the first seed, and they will be facing the 8th-seeded Phoenix Suns. They're going to have to watch out for Joe Johnson, Amari Stoudemire, and Stephon Marbury. And I'm going to try things a little differently. This time I'm going to simulate each game individually. So far they're 2-0. Make that 3-0. And we officially have a sweep. The Lakers have finally made it past the first round. Now let's check out who they'll play in the second round. They will be going up against the Minnesota Timberwolves. As we look at the Timberwolves lineup, I don't see anyone worth discussing. And KG is not in the lineup, so I'm guessing he's injured. And yeah, he does have a high left ankle sprain. He's out for 2 to 4 weeks. So this is a huge blessing for the Lakers. Let's see how this pans out moving forward. And of course, we're going to simulate each game, one game at a time. They end up taking the first 2, 3 down, and another sweep. So it looks like one game at a time is definitely the way to go. I will be doing that moving forward. Let's see who they'll face in the Western Conference Finals. And they will be facing the Memphis Grizzlies, who of course have the one and only LeBron James as well as Paul Gasol. So let's see what competition they bring this year. And we will be simulating each game individually. The Lakers do have game 1. We also have game 2. Memphis takes game 3 and game 4. Okay, but we have game 5. Okay, now the series is tied 3-3, so we will be going into game 7, and I will be using Simcast for this. So let's hop straight into it. Okay, close game so far, 45-44. Still a close game. Oh, and I did try to slow it down, but I couldn't do it fast enough. The Lakers do end up losing 112-104, but this is the farthest that we've made it into the playoffs, so it is an improvement. I will definitely be simulating each game individually moving forward. Let's check out the stats. Kobe put up 30 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists. Shaq with 26, 14 boards, 3 blocks. Josh Smith, on the other hand, only put up 0 points in 32 minutes to play. That's actually terrible. He sold it for them. They might have been able to pull this off if they had better help on offense. LeBron puts up 29. Paul Gasol with 14. Yeah, I can't say too much about that loss. That was just terrible job by Josh Smith. But let's simulate the rest of the playoffs. The Detroit Pistons end up winning the championship. Chauncey Billups is your finals MVP. And Gary Payton actually ends up retiring. And so does Byron Russell. As we get into the '05 draft, the Lakers would pick up Andrew Bogut alongside Ronnie Turioff, and this is a little change in history, as in real life, the Lakers would pick up Andrew Bynum alongside Ronnie Turioff, but Andrew Bynum was not available as we got to the 10th pick, so they picked up the best player at that position available. And the Lakers will also end up trading Caron Butler away for Kwame Brown. And I'll be letting this simulation kind of do what it does for the rest of free agency. But if y'all would like to see me interfere a little bit more for the future rebuilds, just let me know. I'll try to keep things as realistic to the best of my abilities. I do enjoy watching the different scenarios kind of play out, but at the end of the day, this content is for you guys, so just say the word. And this is the roster as we head into the next season. Kobe doesn't have too much help along with Shaq. Yeah, this roster isn't very impressive if I'm being honest, but you never know when Kobe's on your team, anything can happen. So without further ado, man, let's get straight into it. And as we reach the All-Star break, the Lakers could be doing better, but nonetheless, they're still balling out. Their current record is 35-16, so they're not first in the NBA standings, but they're not far down from the top. I'm not going to look too much into the details of each player's stats, but Shaq, to say the least, is kind of noticeably falling off at this point. You can tell that age is really starting to affect him. Josh Smith is steadily improving. You know, he could be doing better, but he's making improvements. Andrew Bogut isn't a groundbreaking player, but, you know, he's doing solid for a rookie. Ronnie Turioff, on the other hand, is actually shooting terrible. I want to say a little over 20%. And if the Lakers know what's best for them, they'll probably get rid of him, but we'll see what they end up doing in the future. Kobe and the Lakers end up finishing their season going 60-22. Bryant gets MVP, Chris Paul Rookie of the Year, Jamal Crawford 6-man. Unfortunately, no players were able to win any awards, so at this point, I'll just be simulating directly to the end of each season. And it looks like the only player to receive any recognition at all is Kobe Bryant, making all NBA first team as well as all defensive second team. Moving on into the playoffs, the second seeded Lakers will face off against the 7th seeded Rockets. And of course, we'll simulate each game in the series one by one. The Lakers are off to a strong start, going 2-0 against the Rockets, but the Rockets are now starting to make a comeback as the series is tied 2-2. Taking a look at this Rockets team, they have a pretty solid lineup in Yao Ming, Luol Deng, as well as Steve Francis. We're going to hope that the Lakers don't blow a 2-0 lead as the Rockets are now up 3-2 in the series. And a clutch win for the Lakers as the series is now tied 3-3. So we're going to head into Simcast to see how this Game 7 plays out. And if the Lakers were to go home here, I would be very disappointed. I'm sure a lot of you would too. So cross your fingers. Right now it's a close game, but it now looks like the Lakers are actually pulling away at a pretty ridiculous rate, might I say. And yes, they will definitely walk away with the W, 91-122. Let's take a look at those stats. And Shaq completely outperformed tonight over Yao Ming, shooting 14 from 17 from the floor with 29 points and 3 blocks. Kobe also did his thing as well, nearly compiling a quadruple double. So yeah, it's safe to say that this playoff series victory was definitely well earned. Checking out the 3rd seeded Nuggets roster. And oh man, they have No Chill Gil, Marcus Camby, and Shine Marion. If the guys lose, it's gonna be it's gonna be disappointing, but it's gonna be understandable because this is some solid competition. Yeah, let's just see what happens. And the reason I'm a little skeptical is because the Lakers, they are definitely solid, but they have yet to make it to the NBA Finals. So I'm just not trying to get my hopes up. So here we go, one by one. Game 1 is a W. Game 2 is also a W. Game 3 is a W. Can we get the sweep? No, we cannot. The Denver Nuggets get Game 4 and Game 5, but we get Game 6, so the Lakers will advance to the conference finals. Taking a look at the stats, No Chill Gil would drop 27, Kobe goes off and drops 31, Shaq with 24, Kwame Brown putting in work with 16. Ronnie Turioff, on the other hand, is still pretty garbage. I do not like to see that. But it doesn't really matter. They still got the W. So let's go ahead and see who they're going to face in the conference finals. The Golden State Warriors. Let's see who they have. So the Warriors don't really have anyone except Jason Richardson. And the next best player is Mike Dunleavy. So there's no way. They have to have an injury somewhere on the floor. And the only injury they have is with Antoine Jameson, who comes up to about an 82 overall when he's fully healed. And I'm not going to lie, it's low-key a miracle that this team made it this far for real. But let's get into it. All right, yet again, 1 by 1. All right. Game 1 is a L. Game 2 is also a L. 2K, what is going on right now? Kobe Bryant with 39 points. Shaq with 16. Nobody but Kobe is really putting in work right now. Jason Richardson and Andre Blige might. Oh my gosh, bro. 2K, please. Bro, if we get swept by this team, I don't know what to say. Okay, we got one. Let's check out the stats. Jason Richardson is dropping 40. Oh my. Okay, so is Kobe. Game 2, let's get it. Okay, we get game 2. And we get game 3. Make it game 4. Okay, it is now tied 3-3. We're going to go into Simcast and we're going to hope for the best again. I'm not going to lie. The Lakers, they have been kind of iffy, especially when it comes to the more garbage teams. But we're gonna simulate this and we're going to see what happens. All right. I'm going to go ahead and start this. Yeah, this really has me nervous. Y'all don't even know. But okay, so the Lakers are actually blowing out the Warriors right now, which is awesome. And for the first time in this simulation, the Lakers are advancing into the NBA Finals where they will face off against the Nets. Let's check out those stats. So Kobe had 37 points, Shaq with 16, but Kwame Brown with 16 boards. That is crazy. Jason Richardson, you kind of falling off there, bud. What's going on? No, I'm just playing. It's all jokes. It's definitely all jokes. That was actually fairly solid minus the turnovers. But let's check out this Nets roster and see who they'll be facing up against. And the Nets have Jason Kidd, of course, Richard Jefferson, Lamar Odom, Anderson Varejao. This is a very solid team all around, but I have a lot of confidence in Kobe. I don't think he's going to let the Lakers fall after everything that they've been through and how long it took them to get here. So let's hop into it and see what happens. Okay, so can the Lakers get their first NBA championship in this video? They cannot get game 1. It goes to the Nets. But we do get game 2. Okay, let's see what happens in game 3. The Nets also take that. Kind of back and forth right now. The Lakers get game 5. Okay, we just need 2 more. This is just way too intense. At this point, I have to go into Simcast. Now we are officially in Simcast. Let's see what the Lakers do with this opportunity right here. It is not a great start for the Lakers. As halftime comes around, they do end up taking the lead. And the Lakers are trying to stay with them, but it's just not looking too good. And if worst comes to worst, we can at least say that they tried, they came a long way. They did not give up without a fight, but hold on a second. Okay, so the series is tied 122-122 in game 7. We're going to jump in and see what's going on in real time so y'all can get a first-hand look. And of course, I'm not going to play any of this. I'm going to go straight to choose sides. That way we can spectate. And the Nets do have possession of the ball, so this may be over with. Let's see if Jason Kidd can score the game winner. And he does not make it, so we're going into overtime. And we're going to go right back into Simcast so we can see how this plays out. And so far, no one side is really pulling away at the moment. Lakers are down by 4, down by 2, and we're going to jump in with 52 seconds left. Okay, they hand Kobe the ball, and it looks like he's going to ISO. No, he's going to go for the screen. Okay, now he's going to go for the ISO. And oh, he has Richard Jefferson shook, and he does score, so it's a tie ball game with 37 point something seconds left. I believe that's at 37.5. Jason Kidd with the ball, and he's just going to take it right up to the rack for an easy layup. That is very disappointing, I'm not going to lie. They hand Kobe the ball. He's going to take it up court. Does a spin move, and he does a hook shot, and it goes in. So it's a tie ball game again, and the Nets will call a timeout. Okay, at this point, there is 21.9 seconds left after the timeout. Jason Kidd has the ball. He's going to pass it out to an open Richard Jefferson, and he misses it. We are now heading into a second overtime. I really hope the Lakers can pull this win off. We're going to jump right back into the Simcast to see how this second overtime plays out. The Lakers do start off on top, and the Nets are seemingly unable to score. So we're going to stop it right here. You guys already know what's about to happen. I will see you in game 7. All right, we're back in the menu and we're going to head straight into the simcast. You guys already know. And fast forwarding into the 4th quarter, the Lakers are definitely up. The Nets have no chance of coming back. So we're going to go ahead and find the right spot to slow down and jump in so that way we can see this celebration ceremony play out. And the ball will end in Kobe's hands as the Lakers have finally won the NBA championship for the first time in this simulation. I am so happy for him. I don't know what to say.
All the meetings, all the games, wins and losses, the emotion, the exhaustion culminating into tonight.
And for some reason they have Josh Smith holding up the trophy. I would think he could not make finals MVP based off his Kobe is finals MVP. I was about to say. So the duo gets it done as Kobe drops 43 points, Shaq with 22. Miles Swift is their highest scoring player. Unfortunately, the Nets did not come to play with the Lakers at home. Now that the Lakers have officially won that championship, I will be simulating the remaining majority of this rebuild, but of course I will let y'all know if anything else interesting takes place. As we fast forward just 1 year later, Andrew Bogut actually gets 6th Man of the Year. And both previous teams actually made it back into the NBA Finals, but this time it's a change of events as the Nets and Lakers switch places. But the following season, the Lakers find themselves back into the NBA championship where Kobe wins yet another Finals MVP in 6 games. At this point, Shaq is not as impactful as he once was, but he still is a dominant figure on the team, the second most dominant player still to be exact, and he's holding up pretty well at an 87 overall. Following the 2010 and 11 NBA season, after 19 years in the league and at the age of 39, Shaq officially retires from the NBA. Over his years, he accumulated 5 NBA championships, an MVP award, 3 Finals MVP awards, 13 All-Star appearances, 7 All-NBA First Team, and 2 All-NBA Second Team appearances. And of course, he makes it into the Hall of Fame where he averaged a double-double and 2.2 blocks per game for his career. 6 years later, in the 2016-2017 NBA season, Kobe would also retire after a whopping 21 years in the league at 38 years old. During his time in the NBA, he would also receive 5 rings, 1 MVP, 2 Finals MVP awards, 19 All-Star selections, 7 All-NBA First Team, and 5 All-NBA Second Team selections. So the careers of Shaq and Kobe were fairly accurate to how the duo's careers would play out in real life. However, Kobe would be unable to win a championship in this simulation without Shaq. But that's going to do it for this upload. I really appreciate y'all for tuning in. Also, y'all bear with me as I improve my editing to bring y'all the best content I can. I know it took me a while to release this, but if you did enjoy it, be sure to like and subscribe. It really helps me a lot. Y'all take it easy. Peace.